And welcome back to White Collar Woker. Today we're talking about Davos. And for those of you that don't know, it's not being reported hugely in the media at the moment, but Davos is going on, which for those of you who don't know, it's a meeting, it's a conference of the world's good and the great, the most powerful and the most rich of society. And what do they talk about? Essentially, they talk about how to improve the world. Now, improving the world is not an objective thing. It's a subjective thing, depending on how you would want to mold the world and how you want to see it. And the rich and the powerful, they have been the beneficiaries of one of the biggest expansions in money in all of human history. If you think about the expansion of the money supply since the invention of the Federal Reserve, the expansion of the money supply since the Bank of England's founding, 300, 400 years ago, the expansion of the money supply because of the financial crisis, the expansion of the money supply because of COVID has created a vast amount of money. I think one of the statistics was that since 2008, $13 trillion, pounds, yen, euro have been injected to recapitalize the banks after the 2008 financial crisis. The people that benefit from that are the people that are closest to power. The people that benefit that are the ones that directly get the money from that money printing. And it's not money printing in the sense that they actually print the money. They just create the numbers out of thin air now. The Federal Reserve, if they need to recapitalize the banks, if there's another financial crisis. In fact, Andrew Bailey did this very recently. The pension funds were weeks, if not days away from going bust, because they had invested poorly, really. They invested in speculative assets. Andrew Bailey pressed a number and he recapitalized the pension markets. And he literally bought bonds off the pension markets in order for them not to go bust. I mean, that is the world that we live in. We live in a world where the governments can press a button and they can recapitalize the banks if they want to. Now, the reason I'm not saying that if you're rich and if you're powerful, that's a bad thing, because they probably got there for a reason. Now, there's the Balzac quote, which says that all great fortune is founded on a crime. But I personally think that it's incredibly hard to create value and to create wealth if you do it from scratch, which I'm sure some people have from Davos. The problem is that a lot of these people have benefited from this supply of credit, which is, in my opinion, corrupt. It's corrupt to expand the money supply so quickly because through inflation and through asset price inflation, it cuts out the opportunities of the poorest. And that is the trajectory we're seeing in society. Now, the argument back from this is the Warren Buffett argument and the Charlie Munger and argument back. And their argument is that, yes, but if you look at how society has progressed over the last 100 years, you are a lot richer than your counterpart 100 years ago. And my argument to that is, I should bloody well hope so, because we had the Industrial Revolution at that point, and we've had incredible advancements in medical science. But the point I'd say is that how much more wealthy and happier and healthier could we be if we weren't having that money stolen from us? Inflation at the moment is 10%. Imagine you had 10% more money every month in your bank account. Would you be healthier? Would you be happier? Would you spend more time with your family instead of working so hard at work? Would you be as stressed? Would you have better interpersonal relationships? My argument would be yes. And the sort of big business globalist argument that you should be happy with what you've got, it's much better than you had 100 years ago. But 100 years ago, we just finished World War One. And before that, we had the Boer War, we had the Crimea War, we had the Napoleonic Wars before then. I should hope that things would improve as time goes on, especially if human ingenuity has improved. But that's not the point. The point is we could be better off if we didn't have this expansion of the money supply and people stealing money from the least well-off in society. That's why people are angry. Anyway, let me know what you think. White Collar Woker. See you guys next time.